Oh my gosh, you guys. Hi, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. You guys, I need to talk about something. I just watched Saw X and I have some thoughts. Let's discuss this, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know, Saw is a horror franchise and it started back in like the early 2000s and it stars people. And honestly, this is one of the most confusing canons I have ever tried to follow. I'm just gonna come right out and say I don't necessarily care for the Saw movies. I never really did. I remember I was really into them in high school, but I recently just watched Saw X because I figured, what could I possibly have missed? For the most part, it's sort of like the Final Destination movies. Like, there's not a whole lot of storyline like they act like there is, but there really isn't. Like, you can go on Wikipedia for 5 minutes and just read, the Cliff Notes, and you're pretty caught up. So, I jumped into this knowing it's a prequel or a requel. I'm not quite sure because everyone looks old in it. Yes, Jigsaw is in this movie, and baby, you thought he looked old before. Girl, he's like the Crypt Keeper in this. I'm just gonna say this flat out. The Saw movies are gross. They are. They gross me out. I'm sorry. I learned as an adult that I don't quite care for extreme gore anymore. I used to really love it. Like, some of my favorite movies are like Dario Argento or the old Italian giallos where it's like blood looks like paint. It's so gory. Like they'll rip throats out and stuff, or eyeballs get gouged out slowly. Like that kind of thing used to be my jam. And for the most part, I still could watch those and enjoy it. But for some reason, I could never get into these Saw and Hostel movies. I don't know what it is. Maybe I do. Let's examine this further, shall we? So yes, the plot of this movie is pretty simple. Like, Jigsaw gets ripped off by a snake oil salesman and takes revenge. That's what's going on. If you haven't watched the movie yet, get caught up. It's for rent. And honestly, even if I spoil it for you, it's the same movie every single time.
And now a brief history of Saw and how those movies work. Okay, so basically Jigsaw will kidnap somebody and chain them up in some kind of dirty room. Yes, that is me, and yes, that is my waist. Yes, that's the size of my waist. It's accurate. Don't question it. The person panics and oh my god, how do I get out? Oh no. Then a TV pops up and it's a little ugly puppet going like, you want to play a game? The worst puppetry in the world, okay? And they're like, oh no, how do I get out? And then he'll be all like,
you have to saw your head off using a rusty fingernail file. This should teach you for cheating on your algebra test in 6th grade. Now disfigure yourself for my entertainment.
And they're all like, oh no, there must be a lesson to be learned from this. And then they usually die. The end.
Jigsaw gets mad over some petty reason. I don't know what. It could be anything. You could take his parking spot at a grocery store and he'll put you in a torture device. I'm so confused by the moral code in this movie. There is none. Every single movie is always confusing. I don't know what it is. But let's get into it. So Jigsaw is in Mexico. And honestly, I felt a little nostalgic because I was just in Mexico City. And I was seeing all the same spots I was seeing in this. So I was like, oh, this is nice. Oh my God, I feel like I'm back. But that was the most enjoyable part about this movie, was seeing the sights of Mexico. Cut to, Jigsaw starts, taking people and kidnapping them. And I'm guessing this is supposed to be the beginning or the origin story, maybe? They didn't really establish it very well. Or maybe they did, and I just wasn't paying attention. The second Jigsaw's on screen, I immediately tune out. He starts waxing philosophical, and it's ugh. For being someone that's supposedly so wise and so smart, he has the same moral code as a 15-year-old that's playing Fortnite. Girl, I don't care. You don't know anything about the world, all right? Take this somewhere else. Get a blog, honestly. One thing about the tortures in these movies, I get that we're going for the most extreme, gory, and morally coded kind of nonsense. But half the time, especially in this one, the traps seem a little bit too much. It's one thing to make someone gouge their eyes out while cutting their arm open, but in these later tests, they're weighed. That's the one thing that was really bothering me. The people would do the test, but they add an extra element where they had to measure things. It had to be a certain amount of carnage in order to get out of the trap. That's not fair. All right, yeah, sure, they pretended they did an operation on you, and they actually didn't. But that's still not meriting having to rip your whole arm off and then have to measure it up a certain amount in order to get out. They ripped their arm off. That should be enough. And also, the people that died in this movie were very low-ranking criminals, honestly. I feel the person that was masterminding everything got the most not even bad death. That was the thing, is it didn't feel balanced, despite how much measuring was going on in this movie. I was really upset about measurements. I think it's because it brought me back to science class where I have to measure things you get that beaker out of my face. it took me to a place that was very dark-sided, and I didn't like it, okay? I was triggered by it. But I don't know what it is with the Saw movies. Like, I don't care for them too much. I don't enjoy it. Maybe when the Americans do it, I just don't enjoy it, because as opposed to like giallo Italian horror movies, I feel like there's like a stylishness to it. Like, you know, people have more wing eyeliner, better makeup, and prettier hair. Whereas like America, we're just like, pretty! Everyone must have dirty fingernails and have eye bags. It's like, ugh. And now we're gonna rip all their nails off one by one and show you and throw them at you in 3D. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And that's me, all right? That's just who I am. And I've come to terms with that. You know what? I'm fine with that. Now, I wish I could like bring up more about this movie that like really resonated with me, but honestly, nothing really did. Nothing resonated at all. Like, I didn't enjoy it whatsoever, but it's getting like rave reviews. I'm just like, how? It's literally the same movie as everything else. Now, I'm open for debate in the comments section. I have to ask one major thing. Is this movie a requel or like an origin story? Is it like a beginning story, or is it like later in the canon? Where is it happening in the timeline here? Can you please explain it to me? Because I swear to God, I was paying attention. Like, I was trying so hard. But yeah, other than that, I felt like nothing was really balanced. And the punishments that were doled out did not measure up to the main person that was actually hurting people. I feel like that's what I disliked the most about this. I feel like people that were very low ranking got way worse fate than the person that was actually running the whole operation. Also, maybe it's just me, movie logic. I should not question it too much. But for someone that like creates flawless traps that people cannot escape from, why is it that in this trap that Jigsaw and a little boy are stuck in, nobody thinks if I'm being waterboarded by blood, I should just tilt my head this way? The whole time. Like, nothing was keeping their head in place. Like, everyone could have just tilted their head that way and been fine. Just wait for it to run out. But yeah, I don't know what it is about this franchise, but they somehow seem to make, you know, being put in peril not sexy. But I think that's probably my biggest gripe with this series, is that everyone gets put in restraints and some sort of like crazy puzzly peril, and it's just not fun. Maybe that's what I don't like about it. Also, I don't like when it ends badly for somebody. I really don't like that. Maybe that's why I live in Lifetime movies. That's the realm I usually dwell in. Yeah, maybe I should just stay in my own lane. But this is probably my last Saw movie for a while now, and if there's a Hostel movie coming out, honey, I won't be seeing that either. But still, this is my thoughts on Saw X. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Did you like it? Explain it to me. I want to know. Show your work. I will see you in the comment section. Now, this has been my thoughts on Saw X. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. Now hit the outro.
Click here and watch me make one of those green squiggly structural wig things. Or, as we discussed Lady Gaga 2009 VMAs, that performance is everything, and it's just Jaymes, okay? Come on, click it, you know you want to. If you don't click it,
you're gonna have to play a game.
So click it.
Estoy perdida.